The courtroom isn't usually the most serene and refined setting. Also, lawyers aren't generally the most well-liked individuals. Ever pondered the bizarre things that might take place to someone in court? In this video, we are going to talk about the 3 craziest convict reactions to life sentence. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Number 3. James Jackson. James Jackson fatally stabbed Timothy Common in the back with a sword on March 20, 2017, near Times Square. Jackson told police he traveled to the city to pull off a political terrorist attack and inspire white men to kill black men, to scare black men, and to provoke a race war, according to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Common's family and friends say they find little comfort in knowing the man who killed him 2 years ago will never be a free man. "It's just, and it ain't justice," said Common's friend Carl Nimmons. "He got life in prison, but Timothy is gone, and we'll never see him again." Jackson pleaded guilty to all charges against him, including murder in the first degree in furtherance of an act of terrorism and murder in the second degree as a hate crime. The conviction represents the first time a white supremacist has been convicted on terror charges in New York State, Vance said. Vance said Jackson wrote a manifesto emblazoned with a swastika and a crusader's cross, which outlined his hope for the extermination of Negro races. They shared passages from his manifesto, never heard before, which read, "The racial world war starts today, and Negroes are obviously first on the list for extermination." Jackson's attorney claims he wasn't a racist but snapped after returning from service in Afghanistan. "He simply couldn't find direction in the world," said defense attorney Fred Sozinski. Jackson apologized in court. "It never should have happened," he said. "If could do it all over again, this never would have happened." Before we move on, support us by hitting subscribe and the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. Now let's get back to our topic. Number 2. Jimmy Glass. Jimmy Glass was convicted of shooting to death Newton and Earline Brown while burglarizing their Dixie Inn home on Christmas Day. Before committing a capital crime, Glass already had a criminal record. With fellow inmate Jimmy Wingo, Glass escaped from the Webster Parish, Louisiana jail, and during their escape, they killed Newton Brown and his wife, Earline Neely Brown, at their home in Dixie Inn. Glass was soon arrested, Wingo later. Both were sentenced to death in the electric chair. Glass made a headline in 1985 as a petitioner in a Supreme Court case. He argued that executions by electrocution are violating the 8th and 14th Amendments to the United States Constitution as cruel and unusual punishment. But the court, by a majority, found that electrocution as an authorized method of execution is constitutional. Glass was electrocuted on June 12, 1987, and became the 78th person executed in the United States since 1977. Number 1. George Apple. A Minnesota judge sentenced Derek Chauvin to 2 years in prison Friday for the murder of George Floyd, a punishment that exceeds the state's minimum guidelines but falls short of prosecutors' request for a sentence. As he issued the sentence, Hennepin County Judge Peter Cahill said Chauvin will be credited for the 199 days he has already served. The sentence is one of the longest a former police officer has ever received for an unlawful use of deadly force, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison said, calling it a moment of real accountability. Cahill detailed his reasoning in a 22-page legal memorandum. In court, he spoke about pain, something he said has marked this case. "I want to acknowledge the deep and tremendous pain that all the families are feeling, especially the Floyd family," Cahill said. "You have our sympathies, and I acknowledge and hear the pain that you are feeling. It has been painful throughout Hennepin County, throughout the state of Minnesota, and even the country. But most importantly, we need to recognize the pain of the Floyd family." Chauvin offered little reaction when the sentence was announced. As soon as Cahill adjourned the hearing, Chauvin stood, nodded to his attorney, Eric Nelson, and followed a sheriff's deputy out of the courtroom. So that's it. Please like, share, and comment your thoughts below if you liked this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.